Kirk Cousins in Minnesota came from Sean McVay. I don't know that they run the exact same thing, but I assume, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of tons of carryover. Yeah.
Right, and so there wouldn't. It's hard to bring in a quarterback, this late and totally new system and everything. But I would assume, again, I haven't covered
it'd be the
Rams
best move they
right,
could have, yeah.
but it wouldn't for Kirk. He has succeeded in a system at least very similar to Sean McVay's, if not the same, Kevin O'Connell's own thing. So that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that you can't go into the year with Jimmy G. Like, let me put it like this. If in 2 weeks the story is, oh my God, Matt Stafford's having back surgery and he's out, then they have to move for a quarterback. They can't, and the quarterback they would move for is Kirk Cousins.
You could go into the season with Jimmy G, but the guy who's behind Jimmy G.
You want Arch Manning next year.
Well, the guy who's behind Jimmy G hasn't played a snap, right?
But now, you guys think with Stafford healthy, they're contenders.
Yeah, in the NFC, yes.
As much as I like the Kirk Cousins move, if Stafford's not healthy, they're not contenders.
With Kirk,
they would be good.
Yeah.
They win a lot of games, but we've seen.
Yeah,
Kirk.
but there's value to just making the playoffs. Like there is. I understand.
I know.
You know what I mean?
You be the best you can, especially with the moves they made. But they would not. They would not be an NFC.
I agree with that.
Let's head up to Northern California.
Need a Tier 1 quarterback for that.
Kyle Shanahan said this 49ers team reminds him of his 17 and 18 team.
Uh-oh.
A quick memory refresher. Those 17 and 18 teams
stunk.
Weren't that good? Take a listen.
When we got here in 17, we knew we had a roster that we really had to completely change over. We did it all with draft picks. And to me, you don't hit on every draft pick, but we hit on a lot, and we got some difference makers in there, and that kind of became the core of our group from 19 all the way till now. We got a group of players that are difference makers, some borderline Hall of Fame players too. But when you look at the rest of the roster, that's what reminds me a little bit more of 17 and 18, that we need to add a bunch of youth. We need to get guys who are younger, so obviously we can afford to keep some of these players, also having to pay a quarterback and things like that. So whenever that happens, you do depend on young guys. My whole goal that we get better throughout the year and find a way to hopefully get into those playoffs. And once you get into those playoffs, then you got a chance at anything.
More from Kyle Shanahan. We'll play the full interview.
Show.
Drew, listen to it already.
I did listen to
chances San Fran misses the playoffs.
Well, look, if the injuries, that's been their problem under Shanahan. Is injuries. You can look at their record. Some years they're great, go to the Super Bowl, then a bunch of guys get injured, they win 6 games, 5 games, whatever. I'm disappointed in Shanahan because to me, it sounds like he is completely trying to lower expectations, which I get because you do have significant injuries. They don't have any receiving core at this point. But he's trying to lower expectations. But to compare him to 17 and 18 is ridiculous. You got Fred Warner, you got Nick Bosa. At that time, you did not have a quarterback that you had Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard. All right, so you got a quarterback you believe. And when Jimmy G went there is when they took off and started winning. So I just think he's clearly trying to lower expectations. I think in the back of his mind, he believes we could actually be pretty good if guys are healthy. And I get it. Their injuries are a serious issue. I just don't really like the lowering, to me, the blatant lowering of expectations.
I don't like it either. I love it.
Well done, Coach.
This is
well
exactly
done.
what he should be saying. So
You do agree with me that he is lowering them, though. That's exactly what he's doing.
100%. He is establishing with the fan base and he's establishing with the ownership that this could be a really rocky season. So that's the way you go. You under-promise and you over-deliver. And they're in the type of situation where they had to go and replace a lot of guys defensively. So they're actually their team has the biggest discrepancy in age between their offense and their defense. So their offense is significantly old. It's older, and their defense is on the high end of the young side. And there's going to be some growing pains with that. But by him lowering the expectations, different than what Cam Ward did yesterday, where he tells us, "Oh, we're going to be a top 10 offense." Okay, that makes no sense.
I don't know if you saw it today. Cam said top 5 receiving core.
Oh, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
So, but they could easily miss the playoffs. And when you've got a quarterback on his first big contract, I talk about this all the time. That guy tries to press. And typically they don't hit anywhere near where they should because they're trying to be someone more than they need to be.
You saw a bit of that last year when before the year he was like, I don't want to be like Brady and step on their throat in late games, and then he was throwing picks late in games. And that did happen.
You see that? So that's an issue. We talked about the wide receivers. Ayuk's going to be out. Who knows what's going to happen with Jennings? You've got the older offense. Can CMC come back? Yeah. What happens with Trent Williams? You got Salah back, but it's a young group. So, yeah, there could be a lot of problems this season, and he's doing the right thing by lowering the expectations. So now if it hits, everybody's like, what a great – you did a great job with this group.
Very
Incredible job. Congratulations.
You want to apologize to me?
No, someone has to make the playoffs. Here's the thing.
Someone will
for what?
Nick is going to do predictions week. We're going to have a vacation week. Then we're going to have predictions week. And you're going to come on for predictions week and say, NFC West, I don't see anyone making the playoffs.
No, that's not true. Again, that's a terrible prediction about predictions week. That's not going to happen. However, I might have 2 teams make the playoffs from this division. Who knows?
No way.
We'll see. We'll see. But as I said a moment ago, would you like to apologize?
For what?
You know for what? Because you, to the audience and then privately in your office, mocked and scolded me for the scorching hot take a few weeks ago of, yeah, I think the Niners can miss the playoffs. And now their coach is like, hopefully we make the playoffs.
That's joking. That's like calling that big guy tiny.
No,
He doesn't. I think he is. Like I said, I don't want to say disingenuous. I think Coach is right. He's just lowering the expectations, thinking if we're healthy, we're going to pop.
Yeah,
and then
he's not saying that to the team. And the point he was making is they had to turn over a lot of the personnel in those years, but they hit on a bunch of guys, and those guys all emerged.
The other point that
so he
made,
was saying positive things while also setting the tone externally with just bring down what you're.
He also kind of out of nowhere, for the first time ever, was like, yeah, and we had to pay the quarterback, which was I thought that was
he earned his money.
So that's fine, but I mean, but nobody asked him that. He added. He was like, yeah, draft a bunch of new guys, got to pay the quarterback.
Interesting stat to commercial break. This century, teams with the easiest schedule, which the 49ers have missed the playoffs 62% of the time. But is that a good stat, you think? I don't know, because like there's interesting stat to break. It's a new segment.
New segment.
Subaru and our retailers are supporting students in high-need schools